as a new artist. You got to be good enough and make people want to listen to you. When you're doing an acoustic set for a room of like 500 people who've never heard you before and everyone is silent, locked into what you're doing, that's a really good feeling.
Oh, I love that. The rising indie Americana star Luke Tyler Shelton, whose golden voice feels like it's been pulled from another era and dropped into this very moment.
What's the reaction to these songs when you're like opening for Joy Monica?
I've had a lot of people come up to me after and they're like, yeah, we checked out your songs as we were driving here. We got so excited to see, made sure we came up early. I just wanted to be there because I love to see the opener.
That is a hallmark of the Americana fan base, is we show up for the openers.
That means a lot, you know.
What does the Luke Tyler Shelton legacy look like down the road?
Since I was 12, I have this piece of paper in quotations and it just says, when I grow up, I want to tour the world as a drummer. And the rest of the paper is blank. I think I owe it to my younger self to keep writing out the story.
Oh, I can't wait.
Welcome back to Americana Curious, where Zach and I bring you the musicians you'll brag you heard first. And today you're in for something special with rising indie Americana star Luke Tyler Shelton, whose golden voice feels like it's been pulled from another era and dropped into this very moment. His debut album, Blue Sky, produced by none other than Shooter Jennings, blends country rock, folk pop, and southern soul into songs that turn any drive into a pure, beautiful movie scene. Can't wait for you to hear it. From psych rock garage days to self-taught troubadour, Luke's music is pure, soul-soothing rock and roll. Let's get Americana Curious. Luke, welcome. My friend, your music is what this show is all about. And one of the fun parts about this is we get to dive into your background. And holy smokes, is it true that you would find a lot of your writing inspiration while you're driving, and you would do a lot of writing in parking lots?
Yeah, that holds true. Any space where I can be alone is where I go to write. So whether that's while I'm driving and have a guitar in the back seat and can pull over, or just at home, or anywhere where there's an instrument available, I'm keen to get something going.
Oh, man. Well, how has your process evolved since then? Or maybe it hasn't. Maybe the parking lot is where like you get a bolt of lightning.
Well, the story, I think the story where that stems from is in my process of writing the song Feeling Always Down, which I believe was the second song on the EP, or the second one I put out last year. And the story there is that I was listening to George Harrison. I think I was leaving an ex-girlfriend's house and going to hang out at my buddy's, but they didn't know I was coming over. It was super early, and I was listening to George Harrison in the car, and his song Behind That Locked Door came on, and it's one of my favorite songs by him. It's a sad song to me when I hear it. Incredible song. And I was listening to it and I was like, man, I want to write a sad song, a song that makes me feel the way that song does. I wonder if I can do that. So I get to my friend's house and they're not up yet. So I just parked my car and pulled my guitar out and basically wrote the song just out of that inspiration of hearing George Harrison and just wanting to write something like that, which isn't really something that I do very often, is like writing a song with the intention of making it like sad or happy. Usually it just comes out whatever it is. So that was that definitely was a good moment to be like, I'm gonna do this, and then it actually work out that way.
I was just gonna say your songs have this timeless kind of sound to them. Reminds me of kind of the Laurel Canyon era of the past. Is that intentional, or is that something that was maybe from your folks bringing it to your house? I mean, is it something that just comes to be?
Um, it's definitely been a long progression since I've gotten into songwriting. When I started out, I was a drummer in high school in a band, and I was kind of at that point just getting really into all the big bands of like the 60s and 70s, like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. And because I was a drummer, I think I leaned towards more band type music. And then as I was trying to write songs, because I was also a singer, I had to teach myself guitar. And that's when I kind of started getting more into Laurel Canyon
Hmm.
singer-songwriters of the early '70s, like Neil
Very
Young, and Crosby, Stills and Nash, Buffalo
well.
Springfield, and it's kind of like you get introduced to, like, a first layer of musicians and artists, and then you just go down rabbit holes, finding new
Hmm.
people. The way that I listen to music is I usually get hooked on an artist and just listen the shit out of them until I can't anymore.
Well, who are some of your recommendations, or what are some of the songs that really hit you? You mentioned Harrison early on.
Yeah, um,
Um, who else? The
so
Laurel Street Crew. What songs specifically were really resonating for you?
honestly, I can almost list a direct song for each song on the EP that I was really inspired by, and when
Okay.
I was recording, that's kind of
Yeah.
the headspace I was in when making the songs, or at least an artist. So, like with the first single, Anna, um, I was getting super into Faces, the British rock band
I
that
can
Rod
see
Stewart
that.
and
Yeah.
Ronnie Wood were in, and I just loved how they were like a British rock band, but they infused so much folk and country influences and blues into their music, like they'd have mandolin and fiddle and stuff. So, um, I wasn't necessarily trying to make country music, but was being heavily inspired by groups that were
Mm.
meshing those genres together. So like
Mm.
the song by I think it's a Rod Stewart song actually. You Wear It Well. I
Oh,
love
sure.
that song so much. Um, that was like an inspiration for Anna, as well as like Graham Parsons and Emmylou Harris
Oh, man.
duet singing type of
Oh,
thing.
I love that. Yeah,
Um,
I really heard a little bit of Graham Parsons in that,
mhm,
in several of those songs. I mean, you're definitely channeling like, your own Luke version of this thing, but it's cool to hear that, you're part of that lineage in some way.
yeah,
Whatever.
Yeah, Ben,
yeah,
let me tag in on that because last November I'm just looking at social media one day at work, don't, and I see a Shooter Jennings posting about
mhm,
this song coming out. Anna, love this song. Turn it on immediately. I think I texted Ben right away and was like, "You got to listen to this guy."
Yes.
There were four
As
songs out at the
usual, Zach
time.
finds the jewels. Yep.
There were only four songs out at the time, and I must have listened to that for
yeah.
4 hours over and over, and I just wanted
Wow,
more. And
thank
Anna,
you,
that song is really special, man.
thank you so much. It was definitely mutually agreed upon that that would be the first single that we
Hmm.
did. 'Cause it wasn't like I went into a project and just had a group of songs and was like, "Okay, we're gonna release these." It was more like
Mm.
I had just been writing, I was developing what I was going to do, I was getting into a studio for the first time to record, so we kinda just looked at songs I had that felt strong and complete, and Shooter and Jonathan loved Anna as well as, um the A&R that put us together, Mark Williams. So, and I think it holds true. It's still, I think, the most popular song after
First
like a year of putting out these
first time in a
singles.
studio and you're with Shooter Jennings. How does that even come about?
Um, so yeah, my A&R, Mark Williams, he was trying to think of who I should work with to get recording, and he had close relationships with Shooter and with Jonathan, and he thought it would be a great idea for me to work with both of them because
Yeah.
they're both obviously know the music and they have different approaches, but that mesh well together in the studio, and neither of
Uh-huh.
them had worked with each other before and had always wanted to. So I was kinda just this lucky new artist that got to, you know, bring these 2 guys together, which I think they were stoked on, and then also to make music that is, influenced by a '70s singer-songwriter and rock that just made them all the more excited to do it.
Well, why is the role of Shooter Jennings and these producers, like, why is it so important? Like, you've got your own creative vision, you're in the studio, you've performed these songs a ton, like, you
Mhm.
wrote them. Why do you need to bring someone from the outside, no matter how famous they are, to really work on your project?
Well, I I definitely am a person who hears I write a song and I hear exactly, at least I think I hear exactly what I want to come from it, but, um, the fact that it was my first time going into a studio, it was really important to have people around me that could help me realize my ideas, and, like,
Mm,
I can go into a studio, but I'm not gonna know what to do. So I need someone that can hear my ideas, um, and be able to put them onto tape or be able to, actually make it a real thing. Um,
yeah.
and I just so happen to be lucky enough. Also, like, they're just really chill people. And I got to hang out with them in, like, the months beforehand,
Mm,
just kicking it, playing music, not like not I it wasn't like I just went in the studio, met them that day or, like, the day before, and then we were just, like, doing it. It was like I was hanging out with them, and they're really great people, great friends, and
mm.
that's kinda just how the sessions felt. We were just hanging out, and they were just
So if
helping me
someone saw you
do it.
Luke, if someone saw you perform Anna, before you got in the studio with Shooter, then you record, you let that whole process happen, and then they see you perform live after you've been in the studio, how did that change your live performance of these songs?
Honestly, all the songs that I took in, with the exception of "Feeling Always Down," um, I hadn't even played live yet, and
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
have the current band lineup I have now, so it was really that's another reason why I needed them at the time as well, is,
Mm,
when I got in, we basically created the entire songs from just my singing and acoustic, like, we built it in the studio, played it
mm.
live. Jonathan was playing drums,
Ted
while
Russell
Shooter
Camp was
was
playing,
yeah,
wasn't
Ted
it?
was on bass. Yeah, great bassist, and then my friend Hunter was on keys, and that's how we recorded the first 4 tracks that came out, um, and yeah, we were just, like, creating them, and then after that, when I got my current band together that I play with now, uh, we could then play live interpretations of based off of the what we created in the studio for the
Mm.
recording, so it definitely helped a lot in terms of playing them live.
Was there one of those songs that you brought in, to that studio, thinking in your head that it was the way you wanted, that it totally morphed into something different?
Um, I think I think Where the West Begins was definitely, because that one I wasn't even sure I was, like, wanted to record it, and we had already
Mm.
done the first 3, and they were like, "Well, let's do a 4th one, like, we have the time." And we literally just jammed on it, like, right on the spot. That one was just us jamming in the studio, because it's a pretty basic blues structure, um, and I had no plan in my mind of what that one was gonna sound like, so I think comparatively to those, you can tell that it's just us having fun and jamming, um, so that one was pretty cool, and, I really like Love on My Mind
Mm.
sonically, how that one turned
Mm.
out. I think that one is really beautiful and, it's just so, like, easy to listen to. It's not, like, too happy, it's not too sad. I really like that one a lot.
Well, the way this thing moves on this album, I mean, people will not listen to it once. It's gonna be multiple listening. It's just like candy. It just feels so good going down. It's tasty and,
Thank you.
maybe addictive. I don't know, but really, really such a strong album. Now, you're live, you're I mean, let's dive into the live piece of this a little bit. So you joined Willie Nelson's Luck reunion, correct? After
Mhm.
being named an On the Rise finalist. Round of applause. That is no small feat.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations. When you're at Luck reunion, I mean, what is it like? And was there a moment backstage where some unexpected jam or interaction happened and you're like, man, this is better than what I thought I was gonna be?
Um, well, I didn't know about Luck Reunion until I got put into the process and was told that I was chosen, and once I, like, told my band and stuff, they were all like everyone around me was like, "Oh my god, that is insane." Luck Reunion is one of the most special, festivals that exist today. The fact that it's on Willie Nelson's property, he plays every year, um, every single person that buys a ticket that is able to get a ticket to go is a huge music lover. Um, they're there to watch every artist, not just the big ones. So that
Mhm.
already got me so amped, and the fact that I was chosen by their people was even more of just, like, gratitude to be there. Um, and we played an early set, obviously, and the whole room was packed, which was super,
Mm.
super nice. All people who maybe checked out a song or 2 before just to see what I was about. But we got a really good response from the crowd, and I'm really glad that I played early because then I just got to spend the rest of the day hanging out with my buddies, and we had other friends there, and a highlight for me was getting to see Taj Mahal and then Willie Nelson play, and, huge fans of both of them, and my band and I were right next to the stage for both of them, uh, literally, like, 10 feet away from Taj Mahal and his band, um, just watching them
Mm.
play, it was insane. I
Re
He played Queen Bee, and I was, like, crying
Oh,
because it was so beautiful, and same with Willie, and
mm.
I don't know, just it's still trippy to me to think that I was able to be a part of that experience, especially
Is
as
there
these guys I idolize are getting older, to have that experience
I
was incredible.
is there is there a special, like, seating area for the band people so you are closer? Or do you have to, like, fight your way and you're like, "I was just on that stage this morning," and no one
Mm.
believes you? You're like, "No,
At
I was."
Luck Reunion, that is definitely something that happens at a lot of festivals, especially the really big ones.
Mhm.
I just played Farewell Fest recently, and we were told that we could be at front of house for all the bands at the main stage, and then Tyler Childers went on, and they were like, "You guys can't be here. You can't be here." And we were like, "What? We were just told we could
The
be here." And we had to sneak backstage and sneak past these people, and we were able to get side stage, like on the
r
stage, watching Tyler for like 5 songs before they kicked us off. But Luck Reunion,
well done.
yeah, they Luck Reunion isn't like that.
Yeah.
Any artist that plays can be very close side stage to watch all those guys, which was super
Mm.
special. Um,
Oh, man.
so yeah, they're really nice about that.
Wha Yeah, what's it like because Zach and I are gonna be sitting in the crowd trying to find our way to the front to see. What's it like being on the side, hanging out with the artists, other than it actually feeling really cool, I'm sure. But what's it like, yeah, being over there?
It's a magical, surreal feeling. That was my first festival I'd ever played for my own music. Um, and a lot of my bandmates that I had with me, they'd played festivals before, but none of us had been like right in front of the stage seeing Willie Nelson and his sons playing. Um,
Mm.
like my bandmates, everyone was, shedding a tear, and it was very surreal, extremely special moment that none of us will forget for sure.
I
It's
saw on your Instagram, you recorded a song kind of session for them, and you had this quote at the beginning of it that I just loved. That you said you don't think a song should be just passing by. You want to lock in someone and have a one-on-one experience with them. And I just really love that. But what do you mean by that? I think I know, but I'd like you to explain to me.
yeah, I forgot I said that. That sounds pretty good. Um,
I found
I
it's pretty
think
good.
I'm
I
shocked at
think,
myself.
I think honestly that comes from how I write, because when I write, it's a very personal experience. I write alone most of the time, um, and a song has to evoke, like, feeling for me to kind of feel like it's gonna do that for someone else, and, even, like even with people putting out albums today, labels and stuff always want you to put out as many singles as possible before you put out like a full album, and people don't necessarily have the attention span with our cell phones and everything to fully listen to an album top to bottom. So I feel like if I can make each song something that someone's going to like lock into and want to pay attention to, they feel that connection in themselves, then I'm doing a good job, hopefully. And that's kind of I'm a person that I think like for me, if a song can make me cry at all, whether it's happy, sad, and it's like strong enough to get me to feel a real emotion, then that's kind of like the pinnacle of
Hmm.
music to me. So I guess that's where that comes from.
Oh, man, love that. You're
Yeah.
you're known for DIYing your musical training, correct? Like, you self-taught drums, which your dad got for you when you were 4 years old, I believe, is that
My
right?
my aunt got me my first
Your
drum
aunt.
kit when I was 4,
Okay.
yeah.
Shout out to the aunt, and you taught yourself guitar. What are what are the pros and cons of that, of being self-taught versus more like, "Hey, you're going to the School of Rock, or you're
Right.
going to wherever," and then how does that show up, and how do you think that shows up in your music, versus someone who comes from, like, the other more traditional side of it, music?
I definitely think that I had the drive on my own to want to learn, and that
Hmm.
comes through in my music, hopefully. And also too, like
Hmm.
being a drummer, and learning other instruments. I think learning drums first gave me a really good sense of rhythm. So when I was learning guitar, I didn't know any chord shapes, but I was just trying to write songs. So I would use like the top two strings of a guitar only and make chords out of it to write. But
How cool.
I had the rhythm enough to like make it a real song, you know? And
Oh,
it's
Show
kind
off.
of I don't know. I
yeah,
guess that's
show
like the
off.
D
Yeah.
that's like the DIY, I guess, mentality. But that's also just in the community of my musician friends that I'm with. Most of them are all self-taught and just spent all their time doing it uh, for the love of the music and wanting to create good music.
Well, I
Yeah.
guess you're not an industry plant then. You can't be an industry plant and be self-taught. You know, I wouldn't I just saw, Mumford& and Sons, and it's really powerful when Marcus Mumford puts down the guitar, goes back, and just starts wailing on the drums,
Mhm.
and I found out, and I didn't really realize that until I saw him live, and you realize he's a drummer first, even though people associate him with guitar,
Yeah.
a singer-songwriter, he's a drummer first. I think it informs his music, and then you go back and you listen to it, and you can clearly hear the rhythms, and when you hear your music too, it's not that driving beat of like a Mumford& and Sons, but it's got a certain cadence to it, and you can really hear that rhythm piece. Do you ever get that feedback
Um,
on her piece?
I've gotten that feedback from friends and musicians that see the way I play, because I think maybe I'm not like a technical player. I'm definitely locked in to rhythm more so with my strumming and my finger picking. So I've been told like I've had a couple friends be like, "Oh, you play guitar like a drummer, or you play guitar
Hmm.
like it's not." I don't know. It's on instinct more than like me actually knowing what I'm doing.
So whenever we come to your show, we're gonna be watching you and looking for drum are you gonna get back on the drums during the show, like
I
Marcus Mumford?
That's something that I definitely want to do, in the future. I gotta find a way to incorporate that eventually. I think that'd be really fun to be able to hop back on a kit for a couple songs and sing. That's what I did in high school. I would sing and play drums in my first band, so
What's the
I mean,
reaction then to these songs when you're like opening for Joy? I always have a difficult time with her name. Ola
A
Monica.
Lotta
a lot
Monica.
of can yeah.
How
Joy
love her,
Lottican.
by the way.
Shout
She's
out Joy
amazing.
Lottican. You gotta come on Americana Curious.
She's amazing.
Yes.
She's amazing. What's the response from like her crowd when you're opening up? Because you asked on your TikTok, do people even still listen to folk music? Well,
Right.
do they?
Yeah,
I do.
my it's the the tours where I've opened for people, and with Joy, the the first 2 I opened for Joy, and then I opened for this band called The Dip, and I was just
Love
doing
the
acoustic.
Loved it.
Yeah,
The
both
Mhm.
both great artists, and I was just doing acoustic, and I was a little nervous because 'cause I'd been playing with my band mainly for a while at that point, so I wasn't sure how it'd go over, but I think, I think with opening for artists that are a bit more modern, but clearly are still influenced by older music, um, when I get up there and my stuff is a bit more in that, I think I think for the crowd, they really hear that and appreciate that someone is doing something that's still a bit more directly derivative of older stuff, and the
Dude,
response was great. I had a really good time, and I'm really glad that I did it acoustic because I was able to work on my crowd work with people. When you have a band, you can kinda hide behind things, and there's more people up there with you, so doing acoustic, I was able to, work on talking to a crowd one-on-one, and, now when I go back to these cities where I've made some fans, hopefully, and go with a band, my hope is that people who liked it acoustic will wanna come again to see it with a band because 'cause it'll be a totally new thing, and maybe we'll bring a couple friends with them, you know? So, it went very well, very
So
well.
when we go to a Luke Tyler show, what do you want fans to start doing, and what do you want us to stop doing?
I'd like the crowds, I guess, to stop talking so loudly, especially if it's an acoustic show. I will say a lot of for the artists I was opening for, these people really love music, and a lot of them showed up early to see this person they had never seen before. So that felt really good, and I always tried to, thank the crowd. And man, when you're doing an acoustic set for a room of like 500 people who have never heard you before and everyone is silent and like locked into what you're doing, that's a really good feeling. And you have to be, I mean, one, you have to be an artist that can do that. So I guess my performance and songs were good enough to get that response. Um, but I don't know, I just want people to, I mean, it's as much the audience's responsibility as it is the artist, you know? You gotta be good enough and make people want to listen to you, especially as a new artist. So that's that's a big
I'm
part of
curious
it.
from your perspective, I feel like that is a hallmark of the Americana music fan base, is we show up for the openers. I I don't wanna toot our own horns, but I've been to a lot of other non-Americana artist shows where the place is like it's empty for the opener. And I'm there in the front, and I'm like, "Everybody is missing out." They actually paid for this. They just couldn't leave happy hour early enough to get there to hear the opener, and y'all are gonna miss out on on Luke Tyler Shelton, on Joey Lottokin's tour if you don't still do it. But I think Americana Nation, I think we get that it's important, and I'm curious from your perspective, Luke, how do you experience that?
I would agree with that. I've had a lot of people come up to me after gigs of opening for other people, and they're like, "I always love," just like you said, "I love coming early to see the opener." Like, so many people come up and they're like, "Yeah, we checked out, your songs as we were driving here. We checked them out last week, and we got so excited to see, made sure we came up early." Um, this on this last, little run I did up north, I opened for, Old 60, in Washington for 2 shows, and this one guy after the last show, he only caught the last 2 songs of my set, but he came and asked to take a picture still and bought a T-shirt and asked for, like, the signature, and he was yelling at his buddy, and he was like, "I missed your guys' set because of my friend, like, I was trying to leave early so I could get here and see it." And he's like, "I didn't even know your music, but I just wanted to be there because I love to see the opener." And I was like, "Wow, that means a lot, you know? People
Luke, thank you for that.
people do care about
I
it."
I'm hoping my friends listen to that story, and now they understand a little bit about me and why I get so upset. I'm like, "We're not missing the opener,
Mhm.
no matter what, we are not missing it," and I know if Zach is with me or my wife Angela is with me, we're not gonna miss the opener.
I had this experience at Newport Folk 2 weeks ago.
Mm,
Me and my wife, we go right away at gate opening, 8:30 in the morning, see
mhm.
the openers, and we had some friends from Minneapolis that decided to not come until noon, and then they got stuck in a line and didn't get in till 2:30, and I said,
Ah,
Oh,
"Sorry."
yeah,
no.
So that was really
yeah.
ridiculous. But we talked earlier about your songwriting process changing a little bit. recording new stuff, writing? What do we got going on right now?
Yeah, so I think with the release now of Blue Sky and that's over, um it was it the whole experience has been something that I've been able to look back and reflect on because as I said, it was my first time going into a studio, working with producers, and I didn't have my band that I have for a lot of those songs when we were first making them. So I've been able to look back on the whole experience and see what I liked about it, what I didn't like, what I want to do differently moving forward. And I've been writing a lot of new songs. I've been writing on piano more
Ooh,
now because guitar can kind of get, a little stale sometimes. You got to switch it up. I'm by no means a piano player, but hopefully
Mm.
working up to do a full length album now with more songs than Blue Sky had. Um, so I really want this to be a representation of Luke Tyler Shelton, really have it be something where I'm the one that's painting like the picture. Um, and I'm just really excited. I'm in songwriting, planning, and getting in the studio recording mode right now, like more than anything. So I'm really excited.
oh,
So
can't wait.
Super excited.
no parking lot is safe from you parking there
No, sir.
and writing a wonderful song.
Yeah, yeah. It's, I wish I could play something for you now, although, um, yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited.
Although toting a piano in your car is gonna be difficult.
That's
Now that you're
tricky.
on piano too, you have to bring
Yeah,
a tiny keyboard.
I'd like to say you said you don't play piano. Well, you played three instruments more than me that we've found out so far, and you look way cooler in bell bottoms than I ever will. I
Yeah,
know that. So
Zach does play clapping his hands.
I
Life.
play pay the money to go to the show. That's what I play.
Well,
So,
yeah,
Zach, you live in Minneapolis, and Ben, where do you live?
I'm in Charleston, and we're still
Okay.
waiting for our first Luke Tyler Shelton tour to come through.
Yes, that's true.
We would
Um,
love to see you. It's a long way from California.
yeah, I mean, right now, I think opening for people is super important for where I'm at, to reach new audiences wherever, and that will then, in turn allow me to come back on my own thing and start to hit these cities where people are getting a taste of me. So hopefully soon.
Yeah, you're definitely building.
Luke Tyler, we're starting to wrap this up here. What does the Luke Tyler Shelton legacy look like down the road?
Um, well, the dream, I think since I was 12, I had, and I have proof of this because I have this piece of paper. Um, like when you're a kid and you were gonna write like a paper or something and you would title it at the top. I have the title of the paper in quotations and it just says, "When I grow up, I want to tour the world as a drummer." And I'm pretty sure it was from middle school, like 7th grade or something. And the rest of the paper is blank. There's no
Mm.
there's no like continuation of the paper, but that still is holds true, I want to record an album. I want to release these songs, these new songs, and I want to be able to tour around the US as much as possible, play more festivals, open for more artists, um, and just, take it as far as I possibly can. That's been the dream since I was 12, and I think I owe it to my younger self to, you know, finish writing out that paper, I guess, you know?
Oh, I love that.
I gotta keep writing out the story, so
Keep keep writing the vision, which hopefully includes coming on Americana Curious again, being a repeat guest for your next album.
I'd love
Yeah.
to. You guys are great. This was really fun.
Appreciate it, man. That's awesome.
Um, also, I will be playing another festival. I'll be doing the Evanston Folk Festival in September on my birthday, September
Illinois,
6th.
right?
But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
So,
right. The Midwest Express coming to
mhm.
the festival to see Luke Tyler Shelton, and everyone, you're gonna love his music. His music is literally one little search away on your phone. Do yourself a favor, go check it out. Zach and
Yes.
I
Yeah.
approve this message.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
Zach. Stay curious.
Take care.